Okay, let's look around. You might notice something is a little off. A lot of men today don't seem like the men of past generations, strong, assertive, and grounded. Instead, you see hesitation, emotional reactivity, and a hesitance of stepping into their true healthy masculinity. The question is, are men becoming more feminine? And if yes, why is this happening? And what's the impact for both men and women? If you are new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. I help good men like you decode modern women so you can find, attract, and keep your keeper. Welcome to Just the Tip. Okay, sadly, fourth wave feminism has given many women a bad attitude towards men and masculinity, beating men down and totally emasculating them. And this is bad for both sexes and society. Now, by the way, if you're interested in learning more about men's psychology and masculinity, you'll find a ton of valuable resources at the Center for Male Psychology. No affiliation for me. Let's jump in. 1. The demonization of masculinity. For years, the narrative has been straightforward. Masculinity is the problem. Men are too aggressive. Men need to be softer. Men need to be less toxic. Toxic masculinity, the works. If you constantly hear that being a man is somehow wrong, you will start rejecting the very traits that make you strong and attractive. And this leads to men who hesitate to lead, to take risks, or to stand up for themselves, fearing they'll be labeled as controlling or toxic or problematic. Example, a guy who naturally takes charge on a date might hold back, worried that she will think he's too dominant. A man who wants to set boundaries is afraid he'll appear aggressive. The result, weak, passive men who are easy to control and manipulate, attracting the kind of women who are not keepers, or worse, not attracting anyone and becoming dangerously bitter. Keepers don't keep weak men. Society needs strong men. And more importantly, you will respect yourself by leaning into your healthy nature. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to recognize where you have been conditioned to suppress your natural masculine traits and start reclaiming them. Practice assertiveness in small ways. Make decisions without seeking approval, or set boundaries, or embrace your leadership and control of your own life. 2, the overemphasis on feelings over actions. There is nothing wrong with having emotions. It's natural. But modern men are being trained to wallow in feelings and talking about it instead of taking action. You have seen it. You feel sad. So instead of fixing the situation, you may drown in self-pity. You feel anxious. So instead of confronting your fears, you retreat. Society tells you it's okay, just express your emotions. But that's what boys do with their mommies. What happened to resilience? Example, if your great-grandfather was stressed, he didn't sit around venting about it like women do. He got to work and built something. Meanwhile, many modern men spend more time talking about their struggles or writing about it online than actually taking action or making a plan to solve their problems. Reminder, mother mode suppresses lover mode. If a woman feels like she needs to be a parent in the relationship, she will lose attraction to you. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to balance your emotions with action. When you're feeling down, instead of ruminating too much, do one productive thing. Work out, start a project, or take a small step toward a goal. 3, the death of masculine role models. Okay, think about some of the masculine men you may have grown up watching. Maybe it was your father, grandfathers, or even male figures in movies and TV. They were strong, they took responsibility, and they didn't complain. And the lead female character swooned for them. But today, most young men grow up with weak or absent role models. Modern movies further emasculate male characters while idolizing masculine female characters. Maybe you were raised in a home where your dad wasn't around, or worse, he was present but really passive, or even worse, he was passive to your dominating mother and gave up being a man just to keep the peace. Schools, media, and even social norms push the idea that masculinity is toxic, making men doubt their natural instincts. And when you don't have a masculine presence guiding you, you adopt the softer traits society praises instead, or turn to unapologetically extreme and sometimes truly toxic masculine role models. And whether you like or don't like Andrew Tate, he's popular because he doesn't apologize for his masculinity and doesn't care what anyone thinks. The truth is, that's how many of you want to feel too. Example, a boy raised by a single mom, maybe even a great single mom, but who has never had an emotionally healthy, strong male figure around. Well, he grows up seeing men portrayed as either villains or fools in the media, and no one teaches him how to be assertive or take risks or lead in a respectful and welcomed way. Instead, he learns to be overly agreeable, avoid confrontation, and seek validation from others, especially women. Or take a guy whose father was there, but never really there, a passive man who let life happen to him instead of taking charge. That son grows up thinking that's normal. So when challenges arise, he hesitates, maybe he overthinks, and he looks for someone else to make the tough decisions for him, maybe a mommy figure. Mother mode suppresses? Right, lover mode. Without healthy, strong role models, masculinity becomes something you have to rediscover instead of something that is naturally developed. Not your fault. Key point. Not your fault. You can't know what you weren't taught. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to seek out and learn from strong, healthy male role models. Read or listen to biographies of great men. Follow mentors who embody healthy masculinity. And surround yourself with men who inspire you to be better. And unless you're determined to dislike all women and stay single, stop watching negative rage-baiting influencers. 4. The comfort culture is making men soft. Modern life is way too comfortable. Food is easy, entertainment is a nonstop, and there's no real struggle. But life begins outside your comfort zone. Regardless of how long you believe we've been on this planet, our ancestors had to hunt, fight, and survive. Today, you can sit on your couch all day, order food, watch Netflix, and avoid any real challenge. And when there's no struggle, there's no growth. Example, instead of hitting the gym, some guys stay inside playing video games all day and night. Instead of building a skill, they scroll social media. The result, weak bodies, weak minds, weak men. Sorry. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to watch my video on the 15 masculine activities and start doing one of them at a time until you master it or until you feel like a real man to you. It's not about what anybody else thinks, it's about how you feel. 5. The fear of confrontation. Men used to stand their ground. Now they avoid conflict at all costs. Understandably, maybe you've been in a situation where someone disrespected you, but instead of speaking up, you let it slide. Perhaps a woman walked all over you, but you were afraid to lose her, so you stayed quiet. Or a coworker publicly humiliated you in a staff meeting and you pretended to laugh it off. Maybe you even convinced yourself it's because you're spiritually evolved or being the bigger person. But key point, inside you know you let yourself down. Ouch. Okay, so that's not strength, my friends, that is weakness. Real men, yes, I'm going to use that term. Real men handle conflict with confidence, not avoidance. Now, this doesn't mean erupting with rage. In fact, it's better to provide a quiet yet firm retort with steady, steely, assertive eye contact. If you let people push you around, you send a clear message. I'm not a leader, I'm a follower. And no matter what society tries to sell you, leaders attract more of the kind of women you want than do followers. Example, let's say you are out with a lady you're dating and another guy blatantly disrespects you. Maybe he makes a slick comment or tries to act dominant in front of her. Instead of addressing it, you either pretend not to notice or you laugh it off awkwardly. She notices, and deep down, she loses a little respect for you, but not as much as you lose respect for yourself. Or maybe you're at work and your boss dumps extra tasks on you last minute on a Friday, tasks that aren't even yours. Instead of pushing back or setting boundaries or even acknowledging it's not your work, you nod and accept it. Again, you show everyone that you don't stand up for yourself. Women and the world respect men who know their worth and enforce it. If you don't, you will always be at the mercy of those who do. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to stand your ground. Ooh, losing my voice. Once this week, set a boundary, say no to something unreasonable, or calmly confront someone who disrespects you. The goal isn't aggression, it's self-respect. Number 6, the rise of passive dating behavior. So I am old enough to remember that back in the day, men knew they had to pursue women confidently without chasing them or being overeager puppies. But nowadays, too many guys are waiting for women to choose them. Here's the rub, or no rub for you, because, key point, the kind of woman you want do not have to chase men. So maybe you have been there, endlessly texting, afraid to ask her out, hoping she'll make the first move, or worse, accepting whatever scraps of attention she throws your way instead of explicitly expecting respect. The kind of women you want don't respect passive, weak men. They want leaders, not guys who beg for attention. You're already losing if you are sitting around waiting for her to show interest. Example, you text her daily trying to keep the conversation going, but she only replies with dry one-word answers. Instead of taking the hint and moving on, you keep pushing, hoping she will suddenly see your worth. Meanwhile, the guy who confidently asks her out and sets plans without hesitation, yeah, he's the one she's getting excited about. Hint, you can be that guy. Or maybe you're the guy who waits for her to decide when to meet, what to do, and whether the relationship moves forward. You think you're being respectful, but you're putting all the power in her hands. Women don't want to lead in dating. They want a man who knows what he wants and goes after it. Reminder, I'm not the creator, I'm just the decoder. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to take the lead in your dating life. If there's a lady you're interested in, ask her out directly. No texting marathons, no wanting her to make the first move. Confident, intentional action. 7, the rise of dependency on others. Ooh la la. Masculine men build their path. Feminine men wait for help. Sadly, many men today are dependent on their parents, on society, on handouts. And to be fair, it is tougher in some ways for men today, no question. But you can control what you can control. Instead of grinding for their goals, some men get stuck in a victim mentality, blaming everyone else for their failures. In fact, this actually isn't exclusive to men, but what does that matter to you? Example, instead of working harder or smarter, you complain that the system is unfair. Yes, it is, but instead of improving yourself, you wait for someone to give you what you want. However, no one is coming to save you. You either take control of your life like a victor or stay weak like a victim. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to take full ownership of one key area in your life you've been overly dependent in, whether it's finances, career, personal growth, whatever. Start figuring things out for yourself today. 8, the disconnection from physical strength. Yes, men used to pride themselves on being physically strong. Now, the average man is weaker than his grandfather. This isn't about body shaming, it's about health and fitness. Whether or not you even want a woman, your health and fitness influences your happiness and fulfillment. Lifting weights, manual labor, and physical activity used to be expected. Men used to expect it of themselves. Now it's optional, and too many men don't bother with it. But here's the truth. Your body reflects your discipline. If you're weak physically, chances are you're weak emotionally and mentally too. Please do not shoot the messenger. This is tough love, I know. Example. Imagine you're in a situation where you need to protect someone, maybe your lady, maybe your family, maybe even yourself, but you're out of shape, out of breath, and utterly incapable of handling it. That's not just embarrassing, it's potentially dangerous. And you won't respect yourself in the morning. Or picture this. You need to move something heavy, maybe her, but you must call another man to do it because you've neglected your strength for years. Okay, maybe you don't want to call another man to move her, but anyways, women do notice this. Women are biologically wired to be attracted to capable, strong men. My dad was fat, but he was also really strong, and my little mom felt totally safe with him. If you can't lift your own weight, how do you expect to carry the weight of a relationship or a family? 9, the loss of independence. So, similar to dependence on others, a man must be self-sufficient. He'd do well to be able to cook, fix things, and handle his life. But a lot of modern men, well, I hate to say it, but it is true, many can't care for themselves without relying on somebody else. Mother mode suppresses what? Yes, lover mode. Example, you are a grown man, but you still call your mom to ask how to boil an egg. Or you can't even change a flat tire on an old car without calling roadside assistance. Worse, your idea of cooking is ordering fast food every night because you never learned how to make even one essential meal. Now, cooking is still considered a feminine trait, but taking care of yourself is a masculine trait. Plus, it doesn't hurt to have a signature meal to impress her. Okay, so if you want a good woman, imagine this from her perspective. She's looking for a guy who can lead, provide, and handle life's challenges, but instead she finds a helpless guy. That's not attractive. Women respect capable men who can fix things around the house sometimes or figure out how to. They need men who can manage their finances responsibly. Note, I didn't say have a fat wallet, but they also need a man who can handle life without needing a babysitter. Now, if you can't care for yourself, how do you expect to take care of anyone else, like maybe a family one day? Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to learn one practical skill that increases your independence. Cook a meal from scratch, learn to fix something around the house, or learn some basic car maintenance for the old cars that you can still do that. Competence is attractive. Now, just before I reveal number 10, which is so common, if you have found value in this video, please give it a like and consider sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. And consider subscribing. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. I appreciate you. Okay, number 10, the addiction to instant gratification. Men today and women want everything right now. In fact, yes, everyone does. Success, women, respect, but you don't want to have to work for it. Life begins outside your comfort zone. Social media, fast food, and instant online entertainment have actually rewired men's brains to expect instant rewards without effort. But authentic masculinity comes from struggle, discipline, and patience, doing hard things. Example, you see a man with a fantastic physique, and instead of working for it, you complain about his good genetics. Or you see a successful man, and instead of learning from him, you say he was lucky. These mindsets kill masculinity. These mindsets are excuses, not truths. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to commit to one delayed gratification goal. Whether it's fitness or a skill or financial growth, put in the work now and trust the process instead of looking for shortcuts. So, are men becoming more feminine? Well, in some ways, yes. And it's literally killing them, making it much easier for women to manipulate men and forcing the keepers to lean into their masculine energy to take care of themselves. The world has convinced men to weaken themselves, to suppress masculinity, to avoid struggle, and to embrace softness. But the truth is, the women you want don't want weak men. The world doesn't respect weak men, and deep down, you don't respect yourself when you are weak. It's time to take back your true and healthy masculinity. How? By taking back control. Get strong, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. Stop waiting for life to happen and start taking action. Stop avoiding conflict and start standing your ground. Stop chasing comfort and start embracing the struggle. The world doesn't need more soft men. It needs strong, good men who lead, protect, and build. Most importantly, these changes benefit you, regardless of women, and it starts with you right now. So, which of these suggestions will you take action on today? Commit by leaving a comment. And if you want some help with where to get started, I suggest my Wake Up to Love program, but it won't work unless you do the work. And yes, there is plenty of it. For more information and to see if you are a right fit for it, click the QR code. Now remember to give yourself grace. You don't know what you weren't taught, but you can change the course of your life and make the rest of your life the best of your life. Society needs you. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. God bless.